The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien, coming to you live from TFNN Tuesday morning, just after 9 a.m. Eastern Time. We got about 24 minutes to go until the start of trading, and you got a pretty calm market overnight. You trade up to a high in the S&Ps as we kick things off to about 43.87. We're trading right now positive by 6 points. You're trading at 43.76. You get the NASDAQ 100. You're up by 1/3%, 14,907. Quite the drop off yesterday, right? You look at the highs to the lows in the NASDAQ 100, you're talking about 2%. You're talking about basically 2%, 300 points in the NASDAQ 100, and we're sitting pretty close to the lows. We're positive by 50 points, but in the context of where we were yesterday, right near the lows of the session, right where we were at about 12:45 in the afternoon yesterday. Dow kicks things off, slightly negative territory, off by 17 points, and you see a little bit of the difference there, right? We looked at the NASDAQ, my goodness, from the drop-off there, from the 10 o'clock to the end of the day, you're talking about 2%. But the Dow, you're only talking about, what, 50 points, maybe 100 at the peak there. So, man, some real volatility on some of the tech stocks. We'll jump over to that in a moment. You had some volatility in the Russell yesterday as well. Started the rally when I was doing my show yesterday, charging higher. The Russell up to 1855. Right now, we're positive by 2 points in the Russell. And, yeah, quite the move on some of those FANG stocks yesterday. We'll pull it up. Crude. We just got a 67 handle in the price of crude this morning. I talked a little bit yesterday. I pulled up an article on Bloomberg talking about the amount of gas we're consuming. And it might never reach 2019 levels again, folks, because the cars now are getting an average of 33 miles a gallon. So even though we're driving more miles, July 4th, more people are driving more than 50 miles, AAA is forecasting, than any time before in history. Okay, so you got more people driving for the holiday weekend, but we're still not using as much gasoline because gas-powered vehicles have become more efficient over time, and you're talking about 33 miles a gallon on average. So interesting to see how that hits crude. The article was talking about demand, very hard to find even as driving picks back up in record territory. Gold, continuing with the volatility, man, we just charged $10 higher from 7:30 this morning, 19.29 up to 19.40. Look at this volatility, man. We're trading at 19.36 in gold. You jump to notes and bonds, a little bit of lower price and higher yield. You got the 10-year right now off by 4 ticks, 113.03, and we jump over to the dollar index, DXY. Dollar index trading a little bit lower, 102.42, a little bit larger context in the dollar index. Yeah, quite a doldrum, right? Right near the lows. We got about 101 to 102 is the area of support in the dollar index, and we're pretty close to that area right now at 102.42. And let's jump over the VIX, as this is a perfect segue as we kick off the program. Pretty low volatility, man, 1427. We don't have a 12 handle, we don't have a 13 handle, but all things considered, 1427 in the VIX. Okay, you take a look at the VIX. All seems well, right? Well, it may not be as calm as it seems, is the headline over at the Journal. Traders are scooping up bets on volatility surging at a record clip. Why are they doing it, folks? Well, everybody, this is my opinion, okay? Everybody's been real used to volatility, man, at what, 20, basically, for the last 3 years. There's your COVID spike. For the last 3 years, you know, when the market was running to historic prices, yeah, we chopped around between about 15 and 20 for a while. Still relatively high numbers. We're now approaching a VIX where we're getting 13 handles. We're getting 12 handles, right? June 2nd, we got into a 14 handle for the first time, and we've been under 15 for basically the entire month of June. So keep that in context, right? We've been under 15 in the VIX for the entire month of June. And what's been happening? Traders are scooping up bets on the volatility index, okay? There's the VIX that we just talked about. That's going back to the beginning of the year. You see the drop-off we just pulled up on the Thinkorswim charts. VIX, average daily call option volume, okay? traders are piling into wagers that would profit if that occurred, talking about option wagers on the tech-led rally have extended other corners of the market. More call options tied to the VIX have changed hands on an average day in June than in any other month on record. Any other month on record, okay? Among the most actively traded options tied to the VIX have it jumping to as high as 47 or 30. Excuse me, a little sneeze there. So what's driving the low? Well, what they're talking about is they're talking about, number one, you've had complacency. But what they also talk about is they talk about people selling out of the money calls or options. Okay, they talk about seasonality in here as well. July over the last 10 years, the average daily move lower than any other month. The S&P 500 has moved an average of about 0.5% a day in July over the past decade. So you're coming into a period of complacency potentially. You're coming into some seasonality there for sure. And I'm trying to find the article. Here we go. Let me find that spot. Apologize. There's a lot in this article. What they talk about is that you have traders selling. Here we go. Daily market moves might also be blunted by an income generation strategy that is growing on Wall Street. It's a good one. Pay attention. Investors are heavily selling call contracts to pocket the premiums while giving buyers the right to buy the shares at a specific price at a specific date. Okay, so they're selling call contracts. Okay, and what happens there is that Wall Street has to then sell the shares. Quiet markets have driven more interest in the strategy because why? You're selling the contracts. The markets aren't hitting that price. What's happening? You're collecting all that premium. Okay. There's massive, really relentless call overriding in the market right now, maybe the most extreme I've seen in my career. That's one managing director of global equity derivatives at Nomura. While the economic pictures remained sanguine, despite a flurry of rate hikes, as they say. So we're in some seasonality, but there's some stuff happening in VIX, man. When you talk about the call options being done, you talk about people selling call options for higher prices, pocketing that premium. But then what happens is you have the Wall Street firms. They go in and they have to, because they're buying the calls, so they have to go sell the shares to hedge their position. And that's creating a very low volatility market that's just status quo from here on out. So we'll see where we go from there. But yeah, when you have a VIX at 1426, and you have call volume spiking, it is spiking. It's important to know, not because people are buying it, it's because people are selling them. Now, somebody's got to buy them on the flip side of that, okay? And you could make the case with a VIX at 12 to 14 that there's probably more risk to the upside. But guess what, man? We've talked to our man, Kevin Hincks. We're going to do it after the break. We're going to get his take on it as well, because as he's talked about seasonality, man. We're coming into July 4th. We're coming into a 4-day weekend. Keep that in context, okay, before you expect some fireworks. Market open half a day on Monday, will be closed, but I imagine many are going to be trying to take that day off in the markets. Half day in the market. They have to be open for legal reasons, folks. Market can't be closed for 4 days, so they open it for a half day. Same thing they do for Thanksgiving on the Friday. But for all intents and purposes, 4-day weekend coming up. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be back with our man Kevin Hincks from TD Ameritrade Network. We'll be right back.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors. Welcome back, folks. We get S&P futures right now up by 9 points, trading at 43.79. You get the NASDAQ 100 up by 68. You get the Dow barely in the red by 16 points, trading at 33,953. Let's jump over to our man, Kevin Hincks. Every trading day, folks. Fast Market on the TD Ameritrade Network right here on Tiger TV at 12 noon Eastern Time. Kevin Hincks, Tom White, outstanding hosts. They got a great lineup of guests, folks. They're talking about options. They usually walk you through 3 hypothetical trade setups, all of them talking options, all of them with defined risk. I've learned a tremendous amount myself over the years watching the program. Please check it out. Kevin Hincks, a lot's happened over the weekend since we last chatted. Good morning.
Good morning, Tommy O'Brien. Yeah, a lot going on in the world for a slow summer trade. A lot of data out already this morning, a lot of discussions overnight. Christine Lagarde speaking at the ECB forum yesterday, making comments on rate hikes. Jerome Powell's going to speak tomorrow over there. So a lot of discussion about rates and July interest rate hikes, but we got some durable goods data. That's one of my top 6 data points of the month. Really strong numbers out of durable goods. So we're looking at that. Housing, we got some house price index numbers from Case-Shiller and FHFA, both all beat across the board in terms of strength there. So far, Tommy, I think you see the U.S. dollar lower to start the day. I think that has to do with Christine Lagarde's comments that she made. And all things considered, I think that, this is a market that had a really healthy day yesterday with kind of a rotation out of the NASDAQ and those magnificent 7 stocks and into the Russell and into the Dow. It looks like, at least to start the day, it was a one-day event, as the NASDAQ is now higher and the Dow, because of Walgreens Boots Alliance, is lower. But it looks like right now, this market is settling in for a lazy summer rally, Tommy, and that'll really take its toll on the VIX contract, as you know.
Yeah, remarkable VIX. I was talking about it a little bit to start off the program, man. We had a 12 handle. We had a 13 handle. I think we're at 1420 or something like that right now. We spent the better part of a couple of years, man, near 20. Last year, we were even in between 15 and 20, and that's when it seems like the market just plowed higher to all-time highs. So pretty remarkable with the VIX sitting at 14. What do you think about that meeting coming up with the Fed, Kevin? I saw Morgan Stanley, I think they're saying that potentially they're going for a hike with the wording from the chairman recently.
Yeah.
Do you have an opinion? Are you just going to let some of those data points play out that we get for the month of June when we come into July, or what are you thinking? Everyone's got an opinion. We're going to find out. We got a month to go, but are you thinking one way or the other on where the Fed goes after they have one meeting off and they come to that July meeting?
Well, I'll tell you, Tommy, right now, I think you got to watch the economic, the data. We're going to get core PCE on Friday that right now the consensus is, again, for it to be flat month over month at 4.7%. We're making some headway in the headlines, mainly because of energy and crude oil. And the message that it's sending to the markets is that things are not as strong as expected, especially out of China. So crude oil is problematic or a warning sign to the markets. But all things considered, Tommy, there's going to be so many flips and turns, and you got to watch the data between now and then. I think those numbers will swing. But watch that core PCE number on Friday. I think that's the number one data point of this week, that, core PCE services ex housing that Jerome Powell talks about so much. Things like healthcare and education and haircuts and hospitality, wages are such a key part of that, and that's more than half the inflation. And that, Tommy, is what's the sticky part that doesn't seem to be going down as quickly as other parts. Energy, you can look on the 1 year chart on crude oil, Tommy. A year ago this time we were about $110, $112 in terms of crude oil. Now we're 68. So you can see that year-over-year effect on inflation, but it's those other things driven by wages that I think are the sticky part of the economy right now in terms of inflation.
Yeah, that crude chart is something else, man. I pulled it up on the year as you were talking about. I pulled it up on a 3-year, 5-year. We're at some pretty low prices, man. $69.08 right now. And yeah, it goes back even to $114 just in the last year. Quite a pullback. And what did you think of Russia over the weekend, man? I was seeing my dad on Sunday for a pool day, and things had already calmed down from then. And I said, the market's probably going to open positive, right? Because that doesn't matter. I mean, they're not going to be phased. It's over. It wouldn't really impact the market necessarily unless war broke out, which was potentially. But what did you think of? I mean, we all know the geopolitical risks, but basically it's a non-factor to the market, which is pretty interesting, at least when you think about the context of Russia, the power they are, and kind of what happened. What was your general feeling of how that happened and how the market just...
I'll give you how it transpired in my life. I was about to go on the golf course Saturday morning thinking, man, I told the men I'm playing golf with, this thing in Russia is serious. Now, the next couple hours are going to be significant. I get off the golf course 4 hours later and it's over. It's done. So I was like, what just happened? How could it go from such heightened, levels to over so quickly? So, yeah, it was interesting. I really thought that was much more serious, but, boy, they squashed that quite quickly. Do I think it's over? No, I don't.
Yeah.
Something like that doesn't just happen in a bubble. But right now, he's put out that fire, that's for sure.
Wild stuff, man. Wild stuff, to say the least. And, yeah, we all kind of, if you're paying attention, it's like, boom, wait, it's over? What's going on? Okay, then the market's open. Futures are up 8 points on Sunday night. We move on from there as we go. Relentless market, man, for sure. Kevin, I appreciate the time. What are you guys talking about? Because we're at the end of earnings season, man. We're coming into July 4th. Market's got a half day on Monday. We're closed on Tuesday. What are you guys talking about on Fast Market coming up today at 12, Kevin?
General Mills earnings coming out. Like Folio will look at that consumer staple. Then we'll look at Apple, and we'll look at Eli Lilly with some of their weight loss medicine that they're coming out with. So we'll look at those 3 stocks today.
Kevin, I appreciate the time on a busy morning as always, man. We look forward to the show at 12, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks for having me on, Tommy.
Always a pleasure. Folks, check it out. You heard it. They're talking General Mills. They're talking Apple. They're talking Eli Lilly. Yeah, check out that chart on Eli Lilly, right? March, just at about 300. We dive up to 465 yesterday. Those weight loss drugs, man, it seems like there's a new weight loss drug coming out every month or two. And they get some promising results. Yeah, to put it lightly. You know, they get some promising results. And obviously, obesity, diabetes, all that stuff in America, it's a big deal. So that's kind of the holy grail, of course, weight loss. In my own head, it's a little difficult to imagine the holy grail of weight loss, though, because maybe these drugs, I was talking with friends with it last night, maybe the best part about it, and listen, if somebody is, morbidly obese, they're facing drastic health measures, whatever, right? You do what you can in those moments. But of course, you're going to have to correct that diet or exercise eventually, or it's going to happen again, et cetera. But maybe that's, because sometimes you just need some momentum, folks, and it's in life as well. Eating healthy, I tell you, myself, all right, we talked some diet. What were we talking? We're talking Brussels sprouts and what? Chicken and beef last week, I think. And if you haven't made those roasted Brussels sprouts, folks, get out there and get it done, okay? But what else is that you just need the first couple days. You get on the momentum train, and you're feeling good. You ate healthy the last couple days. You want to keep the trend going. You'd be surprised how easy it is on that third day versus just getting over that first day. And maybe some of these drugs for a period of a month or two, right, get people on the right path. Pretty interesting chart. They'll be talking about it on Thinkorswim coming up at 12 noon, folks, and we'll be back for the market open. Stay tuned.
Most people, they think it's too volatile and risky. Most people aren't going to take the time to educate themselves on how to do it right. But you're not most people, are you? At TFNN, you'll get the guidance you need to refine your strategies and techniques to invest like a pro. Because you'll be a pro. All TFNN subscriptions, books, software, and courses are available at TFNN.com. And I'm even going to tell you how to get them for less. Use TFNN's Tiger Dollars and you'll get up to a 20% bonus on your purchase. And once you apply them to your account, Tiger Dollars are automatically used for all future or recurring charges. Tiger Dollars also never expire, are fully transferable, and are a great way to add savings to your newsletters or services. Become the investor you were born to be at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has just launched their new trading room, the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. And now they are expanding their reach with the Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. In the Tiger's Den, you can look over the shoulders of Tom O'Brien and the other TFNN hosts while they analyze charts during their live Tiger TV programs, and join an interactive trading community with hundreds of members exchanging ideas. Interact with other tigers and tigresses as they share trading ideas, news analysis, and discuss the market action all trading day, even at night and on the weekends. The Tiger's Den at Discord is accessible on mobile or tablets as well, so it's always at your reach. To sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders, just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. We have the market up. We have the S&P up by 10, NASDAQ up by 64, Dow up by 15. We kick things off in positive territory. And yeah, taking a look at that Eli Lilly, right? So yesterday, man, you open at 470, you sell it off actually in the negative prices to 450. And there was the headline. Experimental obesity drug could beat rivals in total weight loss for patients. The experimental drug, retatrutide, helped patients lose up to 24% of their weight after almost a year, the highest reduction seen in the obesity drug to date. Average weight loss did not appear to plateau did not appear to plateau. Pretty remarkable, right? A weekly injection that changes the way patients eat and leads to decreased appetite by mimicking certain hormones in the gut. So we'll see. It was only 338 adults, okay? That's where things get a little bit, I mean, that's a somewhat low sample size if you just think of things on the grand scheme of things. And they break down the effect, and it's been a decent impact in terms of them. The one thing I'll say, that Ozempic, right? Have you been hearing about this drug Ozempic, which is the drug that everybody's taking, that like Elon's supposedly taking, everybody want to get their hands on, even people, it's supposed to be for diabetes mostly, or obesity tied to diabetes, and so you got everybody trying to take it now. And what I've been reading about that drug, just out of curiosity, is that part of the weight that's being lost by some of these drugs, of course, is muscle mass, okay? And that is not a good thing. You know, you get into very obese people, that's not going to be as much of a worry because you're going to be losing so much fat compared to your muscle. But in general, as people try and get these holy grail type pills that maybe might not be in the dire need of medication, where really just diet and exercise could help them out, easier said than done. I get it, okay? But be careful when you hear this stuff, because all weight loss is not the same. I'll give you a quick story. So I've played a lot of poker in my days, right? Poker players are gamblers. I'm still involved in that community to a certain degree because I was there for so long, 10 years, was out in Vegas all the time. I got a bunch of friends who play very high stakes professionally. I have some. And so in that area, whether it's chat boards as well that I still visit occasionally, the World Series in Vegas is going on right now. So that's always cool. You got the World Series of Poker going on. They got 60 or 70 events that culminate in the $10,000 No Limit Hold'em main event, which has not started just yet, but is going to start, I think, right around July 4th. But poker players love to gamble on prop bets. Prop bets can be anything. You go on the golf course, right? You make a prop bet. You can do weight loss bets, which people do a lot of times as well. So the deal used to be you do a weight loss bet, you know, or something like that, or you do some crazy kind of bets. People can always do whatever, right? But where that has shifted to, okay, is most of those bets now are made for body fat percentage because it's a healthier way to do it. You got poker players, they don't want to kill each other. If you make a weight loss bet, all somebody has to do is stop eating. I mean, it's kind of like, seriously, all they have to do is stop eating, but that would be very unhealthy. And most of the time when they're making these weight loss bets that I've seen recently, you got rich poker players. Sometimes some of them are rich businessmen that are around the community that like to gamble as well. And what they'll do is that they'll, incentivize somebody with, somebody's out there, they're 300 pounds. Say, listen, I know you can do it, man. I know you can get down to 200, but I don't want you to get down to 200 or 250 by just simply going anorexic, right? So what they do is they make it a body fat percentage wager. And that is a testament to health because muscle is important, folks. So be careful on these weight loss drugs. I see them. I thought it was worth mentioning because Ozempic's been everywhere. But one of the things seen in Ozempic is that a large portion of that weight loss, okay, much larger than if you were dieting and exercising yourself, is muscle mass that is lost, okay? And there's very accurate ways to measure this. One of the most accurate ways is a DEXA scan, which is actually measuring like bone density and body mass, and you can measure lean, muscle, fat, skeletal, everything. So it has your composition. And they're seeing these drugs are causing you to lose a lot of muscle. Because if you don't eat, you lose everything. Versus if you focus on your diet, you eat some protein. As I said, easier said than done, man. But keep that in mind because these might be a great catalyst in the beginning, but in general, you're going to have to focus on that diet eventually. One man's perception, but we go from there. All right, let's see how some of the FANG stocks are reacting as we got this market popping on the open right now. We get the NASDAQ 100 up by 92. Yeah, looks to be a one-day phenomenon, right? In terms of Kevin Hincks talking about a little bit of a rotation, you had Apple trading down basically $3 yesterday. That's about $50 billion in market cap. But right away, we get back 0.2% to the positive. Yeah, NVIDIA was on a tear to the downside yesterday. They're up by 1.5% right now. Tesla shares traded down decently. They're up by 1.4% right now. Google's been a little bit of a different animal. I've been talking about it, man. Yeah. I mean, they had their own little AI run as well, from $90 up to almost $130. But you look at the likes of Apple. Let's see where Microsoft is in relation to their highs. Yeah, a lot closer to the highs, man. We had a spike peak high in all of these equities, but be careful in Google right now. I wish Google, and they never would. I would buy YouTube unless it was, of course, the valuation always matter, the multiples matter, but YouTube has taken over the world, man. And Google's fortunate to have them. Google's going to be fine in AI. They've plowed enough billions of dollars in there. They're going to have a competitor, but they are losing their monopoly, folks. It is going to happen. Maybe it happens over the next 5 years or something like that, but the world is changing. We're not using desktops. We're using mobile, right? You saw Samsung was thinking about changing their default search to Bing versus Google. That never would have happened. I mean, think about if every Samsung phone has Bing on it. Could you imagine if Apple did the same thing? And Apple's got a contract. So there are things in motion that make it very difficult to maintain that monopoly for Google. So they are going to face some headwinds more so than the market, for sure. Yeah, you jump over to crude, right? Kevin was talking about it, man. We're at a 68 handle right now in crude. He talked about putting it back on the daily. So the headline numbers are helped immensely by where we are in the price of energy right now. But boy, you look at this chart, man, all right? Let's go back 3-year weekly first on crude. I mean, that's a decent risk reward, in my opinion, for crude at $67, $68. Yes, you have more risk to the downside. Crude went negative during the pandemic. But from a technical perspective, okay, this is where this thing chopped around basically in 2021. And so you're kind of back to that base before we really got out of whack with the war. Especially interesting to see how it reacts with what happened on Russia. Like non-factor. Those risks, not a factor at all. And if that's not a factor, then we're just talking about the economies. We're talking about growth. We're talking about consumption. We're talking about demand. And yeah, I mean, yes, it can go lower. I would put, $60 out there. And maybe that's the buy, right? Maybe it's back to the lows of 2021, which we got $57. Yeah, $57.25 in March of 2021, and maybe that's the price you're at, because that's kind of your lows of 2021 for crude. But that's only $8 below where we're at, man. I mean, $60 a barrel. We have inflation going on as well, and that matters in the context of commodity prices as well, folks. Remember that. So, all right, folks, stay tuned. We're coming back. Markets catching a bid, up by 17 on the S&Ps. Dow up 114. We'll take a look at Walgreens as they change their outlook.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
The Gold Report. As a precious metal, gold is still king. It continues to hold the most effective safe haven and hedging properties across the global major trading hubs of the London OTC market, the U.S. futures market, and the Shanghai Gold Exchange. The Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his weekly gold report every Monday morning for subscribers. consisting of coverage of the XAU, HUI, GDX, the dollar, bonds, the South African rand, as well as 25 different mining equities with specific buy-sell recommendations. The Gold Report. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Subscribe to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report newsletter now at TFNN.com.
Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Welcome back, folks. We got markets open. You got the S&P up by about 16 points right now. You trade higher, up to 43.88. We're trading right now 43.86. Pre-market, we were up right near these price levels in the S&P. We're up by 30%. You got the NASDAQ 100 up by 89 points. You got the Dow up by 114, and the Russell right now up by 3. All right, I'm going to stay on diet for 1 second because you know what? We talk about market all the time, and I'm telling you, folks, I am at my best in life when I'm at my healthiest, and you'd be surprised how it helps you make good decisions, and it helps you be productive, and it helps kind of everything in your life. And listen, we all go through areas where we are succeeding and failing in the things that we want to do, right? In terms of, we all go through highs and lows, and this is the best professionals out there, okay? Some people are more consistent than others, but we all have our good days and our bad days, right? To put it lightly. But I realized that not everybody, you know, I'm into health, I'm into fitness, I could be more so, I could definitely be better with the diet, but in general, right, you give it your best shot, you don't, and you do it every day, and that's it, that's all you can do, okay? But there's some important things that a lot of people don't have a simple grasp of that's pretty cool if you understand it. Now, first of all, exercise is important, okay? And this is totally, I didn't even plan on doing it, but we're talking about these weight loss drugs, so it's important to understand the technicals, okay, of what goes into diet. So first you have calories, okay? And in calories, here's something that I do occasionally, okay? And if you really, let's say you're facing some real health issues, man. Let's say you're facing, heart problems. You're facing diabetes, okay? You're getting older in life. You want to lose weight. All you got to do is be in a calorie deficit. And I say all you got to do, that's the difficult part of diet, okay? But exercise, it's very difficult to burn off enough calories to offset a diet because you can eat so many calories so quickly that take you so long to work off. I mean, sometimes they say about a mile is maybe 100 calories, and that depends on what you're doing in terms of how strenuous that activity is. But let's just say you're at like 2,000 calories, all right? A guy can be somewhere maybe 2,200, 2,400 calories, 2,400 calories. A woman might be 2,000, maybe 1,800, depending how tall you are. And that's the amount of calories that you can consume in a day to maintain your weight, okay? Now, the coolest thing is they have apps out there where you can track your food. So easy these days, okay? And they're free. MyFitnessPal, okay, now I use the app on my phone. It's just cool, folks. You can just search foods, you pull them up, you add them in there. It gives you your diet. And the coolest part is it gives you also, what you have is it gives you your protein, your carbohydrates, and your fat. Okay, now we go to protein, carbohydrates, and fat. Here's the important parts of this. Here's what to keep in mind here. And this is where my personal perception and my personal feelings of what works for me come into things, okay? But protein, number one, is essential for building muscle. If you build some muscle, okay, you're going to use more calories in every single day. So a lot of some of the influencers, for lack of a better word, that work out, speak to the fact that in general, it helps to work out 2-3 times a week, something like that, build a little muscle mass because number one, that's good for you. But number two, it's going to increase how many calories you can eat a day over the long haul. Your body's going to burn more over the long haul. But the important thing here is to understand, okay, is that for every gram of carbohydrates, it's a simple math. We're all in technicals and stuff like that, okay? Carbohydrates, for every gram of carbohydrates, it's 4 calories, okay? And this is in general. It's 4 point something, okay? These don't fall exactly. And every gram of protein is 4, and then every gram of fats is 9 calories, okay? Fats are very calorie intensive. I mean, that should make sense to people. You eat a big fatty meal, right? You get a lot of nutrients. That fat is calorie dense. Protein, number one, is filling. Think of protein as number one. You got lean meats, any meat, but lean meats are the healthiest. Chicken, beef, stuff like that. Very filling for what you're eating. And carbohydrates, okay, people always speak to ketosis, right? Getting the carbohydrates out of your diet. Your body then resorts to ketosis, where it's going after fat for energy versus going after carbohydrates, because it's got no carbohydrates, so it's got to go after fat. Here's what I would say. Carbs aren't created equal, folks, okay? You can go eat processed carbs, processed grains, processed breads, or carbs are fruit and vegetables, okay? So if you get your carbs from some good fruits and vegetables, that's what I talk about. Get some nice roasted vegetables, man. Throw them in some olive oil, all right? That's a super healthy fat. You still need fats in there as well. But I encourage you, folks, if you're trying to do this, okay, download the MyFitnessPal app. You can play with that, okay? Figure out how many calories you want to hit in a day. And then what you can do is you can build some diets for yourself. And that's what you do. You play with it. You play with a menu for yourself. You say, what do I like here? You say, well, you know, it's not bad. I can wake up. I can have myself a couple eggs. I can have myself a banana. I can have myself a piece of cheese. I can have myself some strawberries on top of it. You feel great. All right, maybe you have some oatmeal. Maybe that's where you sneak in some carbs for yourself. The coolest part is as many traders is what? Finance, numbers, okay? Numbers, most importantly, profits, most importantly. As traders, and I think people who are around numbers, it's pretty cool when you get into things and you really follow it, because I'm telling you, folks, if you're consistent, it works. That's the toughest part, okay? But I'm also telling you, if you give yourself a day or two, you'd be surprised how easy that second day is versus the first, and how easy that third day is versus the second, and how easy that fourth day is versus the third, because you're not going to want to fail on the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 20th, 30th day when you've been successful leading up to that. So not a lot of people understand that's how it builds, and it's literally that straight out, folks. Carbs, 4 calories per gram. Protein, 4 calories per gram. Fat, 9 per gram. So obviously, if you're trying to cut down your calories, right, what do you want to do? You try and load it up on some protein. You give yourself some healthy carbs, which, in my opinion, are fruits and vegetables. So you're not diving into ketosis, man. I disagree with that one, man, for sure, Jim. If it tastes good, spit it out. That's almost the exact thing I'm saying that's opposite right now, man. You can make some delicious foods if you're aware. What I will tell you, though, is the mindless snacking, that's always going to get you, man. When I am at my healthiest and you're doing this stuff, what you end up doing is you cut out that mindless snacking, okay? Because you don't want to have to go load it into the MyFitnessPal, right? You build yourself a diet. You say, okay, you keep track. You say, I got myself 800 calories left in the day. That's great, right? It's 3 o'clock. You've had a great breakfast. You've had a snack. You had some yogurt, Greek yogurt, very, very healthy for you, Greek yogurt. Be careful of the sugar sometimes. You'll find yourself being much more aware of the labels that you're looking at, okay? I know we're doing 9 minutes on health, folks, but I hope you're listening, because maybe this is enough to just trigger you out there to go get the app, to play with it for a day. Download the app. It's free. You don't need to pay for it, folks, okay? And if you focus on it, I mean, I eat yogurt, fruit, vegetables, lean meats. I get dried fruit a lot of the times now. I probably got dried fruit right here. I keep it in the room. Where is it? I do. Check it out. All right. This is my snack. Freeze-dried mango slices. Yeah, that's what I eat sometimes. This whole bag is 300 calories, folks. And it's got fiber in there as well. And the last thing we'll tell you, almonds are great. Nuts are great. Just be careful because they're so calorie dense because they got a lot of fat in them as well, but they got a lot of protein as well. The last thing, you want to make sure you get some fiber in your diet as well. And that's where those fruits and vegetables, those help you out as well. I hope that helps you, folks. We'll come back. We'll talk the market. Stay tuned.
TFNN has just launched their new trading room, the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. And now they are expanding their reach with the Tiger's Den. Available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. In the Tiger's Den, you can look over the shoulders of Tom O'Brien and the other TFNN hosts while they analyze charts during their live Tiger TV programs, and join an interactive trading community with hundreds of members exchanging ideas. Interact with other tigers and tigresses as they share trading ideas, news analysis, and discuss the market action all trading day, even at night and on the weekends. The Tiger's Den at Discord is accessible on mobile or tablets as well, so it's always at your reach. To sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders, just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. We have the market up by 14 right now. S&P's trading at 43.83. NASDAQ 100 up by 110 points right now. The Dow up by 58. And yeah, you jump over to Walgreens Boots Alliance, man, they are down 10%. As that one comes out, now I got to find these in all my health articles I had here. There we go. Excuse me. Slash's earnings guidance due to lower consumer spending in a drop in COVID care demand. Well, the COVID one shouldn't be too surprising, and neither should be the consumer spending. So Walgreens down 10%, though, some big numbers for them. And last part I did want to get to for the health, because I should have mentioned it, it's almost the important part here. So you talk about how many calories you consume in a day. right? Somewhere around 2,000. You want to lose weight, you lose a little less. You want to gain weight, you want to put on muscle mass. Maybe you're too skinny, you need muscle mass. You eat more calories. If you're looking to lose weight, which is much more the problem with Americans in general, 3,500 calories is a pound. That's it, folks, okay? So what you have is, you have a lot of people that go for about a 500 calorie deficit per day. So let's say normally you can eat about 2,400 calories a day and you'd maintain your weight. Well, if you drop 500 calories off of that, that puts you at 1,900 calories a day. And then over the course of the 7-day week, you've missed 500 a day. That puts you at 3,500 for the week. That means you're going to lose about at least a pound a week. Okay, 3,500 is what a pound is. You eat 3,500 more than what your normal maintenance is, you're going to gain a pound. You shave 3,500 off, and remember, this is off your maintenance. So you're supposed to eat a couple thousand calories a day. So boy, you can't shoot for diets where you're just going to lose 20 pounds in a week, folks, because do the math. You'd have to somehow shave 3,500 calories. Okay, you'd have to do it 20 times, which is what, 70,000 calories you would have to somehow burn off, okay? So consistency, but keep that in mind. And it's simple math, and just give it a try for a day or two. Just give it a try for a day or two. You'd be surprised how easy that second day is. Just do it today, tomorrow, right? Tell yourself you're gonna feel good when you wake up tomorrow morning or the next day because you ate healthy, you achieved your goals on your diet, and it helps you make better decisions mentally, man, when you're in a good space like that. We deviated a bit today, folks, but some important stuff. Stay tuned. Basil Chapman's up next.